Hello, hello, folks. How are you doing today? Welcome to today's Human Music live stream, day two of the cinematic ambient track that I'm making. We've already made, last week was a reggae with some dub spicy thrown in. Before that, I think I did a funk, like a 70s P-funk inspired kind of a tune, and so on. We've been doing a different style of music every week. It was originally supposed to be a song a day, but I get so chatty that I end up taking way longer to make these songs than when I'm alone. So I've decided to make it like a relaxed one song a week rhythm. Although there might be some days when if I have more time and the song is simpler and I get in the flow, then we might get a song done in a day or two. So we might get more than one a week. Sometimes that would be nice. This might be one of those times since I don't think this is going to be very complicated. Yesterday, I got deep into demonstrating the steam pipe, the steam pipe synthesizer, which is this beauty over here. I even have like the printed manual sitting here, and we were using the instrument as a controller for it. Let me turn it on and turn up the volume on it so we can kind of hear what it sounds like. Right, it's a physical modeling. Oh, looks like it's getting stuck. Do we need to do a notes off command on the instrument here? Or maybe just, yeah, something seems to be stuck on it. Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna turn it off and back on, see what happens. Maybe turn the instrument off and back on as well. The instrument, if you weren't here yesterday, is a controller that is an improvement on the traditional keyboard in the sense that it not only detects which note you're playing, and it does so on a grid that right now I have it set up so it's like a fingerboard, like a bass fingerboard. So it's in fourths up and down and chromatic side to side. So it respects the kind of shapes for chords and scales that I would do on a bass guitar. So that's very intuitive for me. I could immediately play this. And it also reads your up and down movements and side to side movements. So you can do manual, vibrato, glissandi. It works on one note per MIDI channel. So you can do, for example, individual pitch bends on notes when you're playing a chord. You can also do independently pressure. Well, all of the parameters are independent per note. So it's a really amazing controller, much more expressive if you're trying to do something that's not a keyboard kind of a sound, like any kind of wind or a string instrument. This is much better suited for those purposes. And I like to use it, for example, with the SWAM instruments from audio modeling in Italy, where they have cello models, and well, all string models and wind instrument models and stuff, and they're very realistic and very expressive. And this kind of controller is much more suited than a normal keyboard for that kind of a thing. I might show you. Maybe we'll do the cello today. Using the instrument connected to the computer. Yesterday I was using it as a controller for the steam pipe, and we were going into the different parameters of the steam pipe, and we recorded about 10 minutes of the steam pipe. Obviously, I don't want the song to be 10 minutes long. Well, not obviously, it could be. Ambient songs can be long, I guess. But I don't. Because what happens is when you have one layer that's 10 minutes long, that means every other layer will need to be 10 minutes long as well. So obviously, it makes the whole process much more drawn out. And these library songs, a lot of people only use first few minutes anyway, so it might not be worth the effort. This is for my personal stash of bangers, my personal music library, which will be available soon at humanmusic.org. Human Music is my upcoming brand. I already have a logo for it. I need to send it to the website designer, and things are moving along. And the point here is a human being, myself at first. Eventually, we might add some more composers making music using instruments and hands and stuff. And in fact, I'm trying to go the opposite direction as artificial intelligence and trying to do things less automatically, more manually, more deliberately. In fact, I'm even adopting some kind of more old school methods. For example, I'm using Pro Tools rather than anything like Logic or Ableton because I don't want any automatic warping. Sometimes I will use advanced functions like pitch correction or quantization or record in MIDI or whatnot, but only when strictly necessary. Most of the time, I'm basically using Pro Tools as a recording, like a tape recorder and a editing table and a audio mixer, right? So trying to get things done uh, in as artisanally as I can, Um, yeah, and as an intentional counterpoint to current trends of things being more and more automated. And I feel like I can inject more of my human soul and expressiveness into the music if I do it this way. And that might be desirable for some people, while maybe the vast majority will be going AI. Uh, my people are the people who are going to want to use music here and use music made uh, taking slow cooked human music. How's that? So if anyone is here watching, please feel free to say hi on the live chat. There's a little chat window there. You can probably see it. And I love to have company. I love to have people commenting, making suggestions, and interacting with me as I compose. So let's listen to a little bit of the steam pipe track that we did yesterday. It's 10 minutes long, and there are some moments where I felt like I was really searching, and I wasn't quite nailing the sound. Um, so I'm gonna play it from kind of almost the middle here and see how much of it works. And if anything doesn't work, I'm gonna go ahead and stop and edit it out, and try to create crossfades and come up with a continuous thing that I'm happy with, a continuous layer that I'm happy with. And then we're going to add to it. I think we can add from sounds from my modular synthesizer over there. So I have some really nifty complex oscillators that can do some really interesting droney kind of stuff. We can maybe do a little bit of not generative AI, generative modular um, random kind of melodic generation for texture. We can play some acoustic things, electroacoustic things like it. I'm a bass player, so I would love to add fretless bass to this. I have a really nice 6-string fretless that was handmade with really fine woods. And I think that thing with some reverb. I have a nice reverb unit over here, the Strymon Night Sky, right? So I would probably use the HX Stomp to process the bass sound and then run it through the night sky for these ambient kind of reverbs. So yeah, there's lots of things that we can do today. So stay tuned and hang out with me as I create a track um, meant for kind of meditative, moody, cinematic kind of contexts. All right, So let's listen to it. As I'm looking at the waveform here on Pro Tools, I'm seeing some points where the volume, where I might have started a new idea. See, like right here, or maybe not. That feels like I've been already developing kind of a. Well, why don't we listen to the whole thing? It's 10 minutes. We'll listen to the whole thing and we'll just cut whatever doesn't work. Whenever I felt like I went too far with a knob, and the sound doesn't work anymore, we'll just start making cuts and then we'll try to fuse it all together and create that first layer. By the way, I have the raw track here from when I was sort of like experimenting and explaining the synth. And this might have some cool moments. Look at that. This might have some really cool moments as well. But it's not meant as a performance. It's really me just fiddling around. And I like to record those moments as well because sometimes you discover things while you're fiddling around that sound beautiful and then you're not able to replicate them later intentionally. So that's why I like to record these fiddling sessions as well so I can preserve these discoveries, these happy accidents, so to speak. All right. So, uh, by the way, if you were here yesterday, you might have seen me mention the bat that was living in my roof. And guess what? Last night I left the light on in here, and I have a feeling that he didn't like that and didn't come back because there's no more bat poo on my table. Gross, right? So, yeah, sorry to mention that. But I do live in the woods. Um, have a look at my view from the window. Nothing but greenery, nothing but trees over there. There's also my trombone might be nice for this song with some reverb, right? That could be a cool element. I have a cello downstairs that I can bring up, and here's my other window. Oh, it's too bright, but yeah, it's also nothing but trees and birds and stuff. So cool. All right. So is anybody here? Come on, say hi to me in the chat. I would love to interact with my audience if anybody's watching. In fact, I'm going to cheat and peek on my phone here to see if anybody is here. Well, it says there are 7 people watching. Don't be shy, folks. Ah, Emanuele Ferrarotto. You're back. Awesome. Good to see you here, my friend. Thank you so much for jumping in the chat and saying hi so I don't feel so alone. All right. So, have you just joined or have you been here for a few minutes? I was talking about how I've been making this ambient track, and I used the steam pipe yesterday, this new synthesizer, which is physical modeling synthesizer by Erica Synths. Now we're going to listen to my take from yesterday, and we're going to edit it. We're going to cut out. I mean, I felt when I was performing with it that I made some moves that didn't sound so nice. So we're going to try to cut those off and see what's left. And then see how, if we can fuse parts together, if they will work that way, or if we'll just take one big chunk that worked. And basically, we want to create a base layer, um, a first layer to build on top of as we progress in this journey today. Now, this is looking very mono, but I'm pretty sure that the stereo is the reverb is stereo on the steam pipe, so it should be slightly different. Yeah, it looks different enough. The waveforms are not exactly the same. Okay, cool. So let's do that. Okay, we're just gonna start listening to my 10-minute take, 10.5-minute take of this steam pipe from yesterday. Cut out pieces that don't work. and create a bass layer, and then we'll add like cello, trombone with echo, fretless bass, modular synthesizer, those kinds of things to it, and that'll be fun. All right, I think I have about 2 hours today because I have to go pick up my little one at school. And then my mom at the airport. My mom came from Brazil today. Hey, she's coming from Brazil today to spend a couple weeks here for my 50th birthday. Isn't that nice? So, all right, let's do it. Again, I'm blabbing my mouth off and not working. Let's get started. Emanuele, you consider getting a steam pipe down the road? I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful synth, as you will hear. You can watch the stream from yesterday if you want to see me actually recording this take, twisting knobs and stuff, or explaining what I'm doing. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the silence at the beginning, right? And in fact, let's put it in slip mode because there's no grid to this at all. We're not using any kind of BPM or tempo or anything. This is totally open. And I'm going to make a fade. Now we want this fade to be kind of logarithmic like that. Because it started a little harsh, a little with fast attack. Here we go. So now let's listen through the take and weed out the portions that we don't like. And I'll shut up for now so we can focus. That's a G note. I tried to make sure the steam pipe was in tune to a G note so that I can layer things later to it. Now here's a little portion where I changed the pitch, and I don't think I meant to. I think I just tweaked the parameter that did that. So I'm going to separate it. I don't necessarily cut it out yet. I'm just going to edit it. Because maybe we don't want to change in the pitch of the drone yet. It's early in the piece. You know, I went low. And here I was even kind of a little out of tune, and then I retuned it. See? There we go. You know what? Let's go ahead, and I wasn't gonna cut it yet, but I think I will. Let's just hear what it sounds like if we crossfade it. Now this crossfade, it's linear, equal gain. And as you can tell, we felt a little dip there. So I'm going to put equal power. I'm going to choose equal power shape over here. And that should make it more seamless. And we can make it a little bit longer too. Longer both ways. You know, longer fade will also sound more natural, more seamless. Still a little bit of a pitch fluctuation there. That's acceptable. A little bit is nice. I'm going to turn down the volume a little bit so you can hear when I speak. Yeah, Manuele, Erica Synths has some beautiful stuff. That's not Eurorack. I've been really enjoying a lot of their desktop synthesizers. So here I'm mostly playing with the DC noise knob, where I'm adding noise and pulling it back and filtering it a little bit. And I'm keeping my fingers all over the on these notes, playing like the G and maybe a fifth up. And here, yeah, I've added a fifth. Now I've filtered off some low end there, or maybe I let go of the note. But this I still think works. Yeah, stacking fits there. No, la would be another one. La. Messing with the gain. When you mess with the gain, it pushes the saturation circuit, so it's not just a volume thing. Now this was a little reverb move. This reverb, when you change the size parameter, it does like what a delay does, which it fiddles with the pitch. So that was kind of an interesting little effect there. It was momentary and didn't change the bass pitch, so I think we can leave it. Doesn't bother me. That can exist there. Unless as we add layers we feel like it. Now here, yeah, I think I'm playing with the filter. With the second filter, right? There's a filter in the generator and there's a filter after all of the, most of the circuit. And that one affects pitch too, so sometimes you get these pitch fluctuations from fiddling with the filter. There are a lot of things that can affect the pitch. That's why there's a tune and a fine tune parameter on the delay box right here, see? And you can hit the tune. Oh, here we go. And when you hit the tune here, you can see on the window some parameters that you can alter. Now, I just heard a detune that did bother me a little bit. Since this is the bass take, we want it to be more or less constant. Right here. And then there's another moment. Right there. All right. Maybe we cut up to there and bring these moments together and create a crossfade. And let's hear it with the crossfade. Yeah, the crossfade unveiled a tiny bit of the pitch modulation, but not enough to bother me. Didn't sound bad. So we're still there. I'm going to turn on my keyboard here just to periodically be able to check if we're staying in pitch. Yeah, there's that G there. Yeah, I'm starting to add some notes. There's a little fluctuation there again. Didn't bother me though. Like these tiny little fluctuations, it sounds like a tape warble. I think that can work, you know. We can leave those. It gets filtered out. And I played with the reverb size again a little bit, so we got that kind of like speed up effect. Now this moment, see, might be a good beginning. I'm gonna just put a marker on there. right after that pitch thing, because it looks like I stay for a long time without changing so much, and I start making more deliberate and gradual movements. And since we have 10 minutes, we don't need the whole thing, and that's about halfway. So in fact, if we like everything that happens from here on, then we can maybe just delete the first half and work out of here. See, this is sounding really nice. It's almost like rain as I add noise. We get some rain coming in. Yeah, this is sounding nice. I think this is a better beginning than the beginning of the take. David Kaiser, welcome to the stream, my friend. Answering your question, you can indeed map CC from pad pressure on the instrument to parameters in the steam pipe. There is a mod matrix for that. Now, yesterday I was having so much fun using the knobs to do very gradual movements that I didn't find the need to do that. But for certain sounds, maybe not so slow, I could certainly do that, and I probably will at some point. Wow, this is sounding really nice. I'm starting to play little melodies, and it sounds like I'm nailing like notes that work. Like I'm not going too out of tune, because the instrument being a fretless instrument, you can sometimes go out of tune. And I'm not going off key either. We're pretty much in G minor, I think. No, major. Oh, that Rhodes sounded nice. I might add a Rhodes take. Oh, now we went up the fourth. Went to the G, C. So yeah, C Dorian, Lydian, sorry. So we're basically still in G major, right? But we've moved the root note to the C. So it's become a C Lydian. Lydian is the fourth scale, fourth degree mode of the major scale. If anybody wants a deeper explanation of these theoretical concepts, just let me know and I'll be happy to oblige. I want this to be an educational live stream as well as just entertaining. Cool. So now I'm moving the size parameter on the reverb, and that creates that kind of like tape speed effect. Oh, listen to that. Filtering off the lows and letting just that sizzle happen. Now the pitch went down a little bit. Now there's a lot of pitch modulation happening here, but I'm considering that at this point, this is nearly the end of the take, and they don't sound so bad. I might just leave those in. And at that point, maybe the fretless bass can, anchor that G note. We can let the steam pipe be a little freer. And once we have many layers, we can sometimes maybe fade out a layer and let the steam pipe doesn't have to be continuous the whole time. Wow, check that out. We filtered out all the low. It's a completely different texture now. Yep. Now we're getting some harmonics, and it's sounding a little weirder. That sounded a little harsh. Maybe we don't need that little up thing. I will leave it for now. So yeah, okay, I think I found where I want to start the song, right? Where we put that locator. Yeah, I can even maybe pull out my actual flute and try to play some long notes and effects and harmonics on it. All right, cool. So this was important. This was important. We listened to yesterday's take with, careful attention and found a perfect moment to start, which is right after that whee, that little pitch effect that I did with the reverb there, right there. So I'm just gonna, ruthlessly delete everything that came before. Remember, this is non-destructive editing here on Pro Tools. I can always use the trimmer here and open everything right back, or go into the audio files folder and reload something. So it makes us less fearful to delete things. You can be more ruthless. Now I can delete this locator. That was just to find that moment there. So now we have a 5 minute and 56, so basically 6 minute long. And you know what? Normally these songs that I make are around 3.5 minutes long. It's like the average. In fact, I'm partial to the number 333. It's kind of my lucky number, follows me throughout life. Now I think we're gonna cut off this little moment here that sounded harsh, and we're gonna crossfade it into the ending there that did sound nice. Right, so about like this. Although I did an automatic fade, which is Shift Option F. Is it Shift Option F? Hold on. I do it so automatically that I don't even know. No, Option Command F. Control. I don't remember. I did it so automatically, and now that I'm trying to do it, I can't do it. Oh man, I've done like a ton of things here. Undo clip slide, 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 undo clip slide. Is that all I'm doing? Clip sliding? All right, I'm just gonna do a fade that's not automatic, so it's the one that opens a menu for you, right? And that way I can choose equal power here instead of equal gain. The automatic one is doing equal gain. Right, and it just seamlessly flows into the ending harmonic there that we like. Nice. Well, that's the only edit that I felt wasn't needed for this, besides the fade in at the beginning, right? Cool. Now, maybe there are portions of the raw stem. Oh, that actually sounds nice right there. You know, maybe that's good to have in the beginning something that's a little bit more surprising. Just to give you a little wake-up call at the beginning of the song. Somebody said that if they're not, Sting said that if he's not surprised in the first few seconds of the song, he's bored and changes it. So let's give Sting something to hold on to here. Right. So we can let that beginning have like something that sort of like marks it. And then it goes into a long drone. Ooh, you know, let's just keep listening to that raw steam pipe take until it sounds bad. Yeah, this is sounding nice actually. It's more eventful. So we have the drone and then something that's a little bit more eventful happening there. Alright, that I don't love. Let me delete that. Emanuele says, or something simple like a steady note that starts to vary over time, superseded by a melody afterward, maybe from the piano. Yeah, that's kind of how I think of it. You know, even the bass drone starts to get a little melodic at some point. Let's continue listening to this raw track here. I've cut out a little portion where I feel like I was playing around and wasn't being so musical. It's good. It makes this a little more three-dimensional than just having that one stereo take, right? Yeah, this is something nice. Accidentally too, you know. Again, happy accidents. Ooh, it's nice. This is really nice. Yeah, this is the major seventh. And then back to the G. Well, so far I'm really loving the raw steam pipe track overlaid on top of our... Now we've gone to the C. I think on the main track, right? Yeah. And then the bottom one is just droning away there. But it doesn't sound bad, it doesn't bother, it's just adding texture. This is way longer. Look at that bottom track there. That's how long is that? That's like 25 minutes, 26 minutes long. That's how long I was playing around with the steam pipe and talking about it. We're not going to listen to all of that. That's going to take too much time. Maybe we'll listen to little snippets of it. If we love something, we can bring it in. Now here, it's like, nah. Yeah, this note right here. It doesn't sound bad necessarily, but I feel like it takes away a little bit from the... I don't know. Maybe leave it for now. It's like a tritone. Right, it's out of that scale. It's an F natural, so it gets us a. It's like a modulation. We've gone to a G mixolydian mode for a little while. Do we want that? In fact, yeah, because we're back to the G Are we? Yeah, we're back to the G there. So it's a G mixolydian instead of Lydian, Ionian rather. It makes it more tense, like it's the dominant mode, right? It makes it a 7th chord. But we're near the end of the drone here. So it might be interesting to have that little bit of tension happening there. Now that little note, that's in the raw, right? Yeah, that's the C again. I feel like it was abrupt, but it's not bad to have some abrupt things happen. And we get into more experimental territory too, more, you know, atonal for the end of the track. So I don't know, it doesn't sound necessarily bad to me. I think I'm gonna leave it for now, and if it bothers me later, we'll remove it. Yeah, that works. That sounds cool. Right. So maybe at this point, this is when I start playing around with the envelope and making like shorter notes. So maybe this is a fade out here. Or from even earlier and ending earlier. I'm just curious. I want to listen to a couple of these, you know, even the shapes of the audio are causing me curiosity just to know what's there. Yeah, all of this is super nice, but we can't spend all day sifting through a 30-minute raw take, right? Let's listen to this like crescendo that goes on here. What we can do is open in, well, there's already a track here. We can call it stream 3. And what key am I in there? This might work for that B section, right? When I go to the C. I don't know though. I don't think it needs it. Invisible Man, hey, what's up, man? Welcome. Fluty sounding, right? Yeah, it's very fluty sounding synthesizer. It's based on flute-like physical modeling principles. Maybe you can resolve at the very end. Well, think about it. You know, this is supposed to be cinematic, so maybe the scene ends on a tense note. You know, I'm gonna leave it fluid for now, and let the happy accidents dictate. We have a D. What's this over here? Yeah, That's a B, which is like the major third of the G. Oh, that gets harsh. Let's see what this is about here. Alright, yeah, this is more like organ-like sounds here. What's this loud thing that happens over here? Even saturates, kind of. Yeah, I think we're done using this raw take. It looks like here I might have answered the phone or something. Look, there's a whole bunch of silence. A minute and 10 minutes. A minute and 10 seconds of silence. All right. I think at this point I started to get too far. Ooh, this sounds cool. Yeah, this is even kind of like a microtonal. It's out of tune. It's nice. I might make it like samples out of this to use like in other contexts. I won't necessarily throw any of this outright, but I don't think it's needed for this song. All right, so I think we're ready for instrument number 2. Okay, because so far we've only used the steam pipe. Now, yesterday I tried to use my Continue Mini, which I love, and it has the Egan Matrix. It's this thing right here. It's the smallest version of an Haken Continuum. It has the same sound engine, but a much simpler control interface surface. And it was glitchy. Something is wrong with it. I think mechanically, physically. It's triggering notes kind of randomly, glitching out. So that was disappointing. It would have been a nice, because it's also got some very fluty and otherwise physical modeling based sounds that would have complemented the steam pipe very nicely. Bob Ross, Happy Little Accidents approach. That's right. I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up watching Bob Ross paint. I even tried my hand at oil painting inspired by him at some points. And I have an afro, which, I showered, and so it's contained right now. But I do have a Bob Ross-like afro, or Jufro, whatever you want to call it. Although his was a perm, I found out. I saw a documentary about Bob Ross. And it turns out that he permed his hair. He didn't have a natural Jufro. Anyway. Mine is totally natural. So, what should we play now? Oh, this is fun. I think I'm going to pull out the fretless. I'm going to pull out the fretless bass. I have a 6-string fretless bass that's just a beauty. You guys, if you haven't seen it, it's just sight to behold. Let me go get it real quick. Why don't I let you listen to what we have so far here in the meantime? And I have to go downstairs to get my fretless bass. Maybe I'll bring the GoPro so you can watch me go into the vaults of instruments, into the quiver, and pull out one of my 16 bass guitars. Isn't it a beauty, folks? This is the MG bass guitars Infinity Ghost bass. It's infinity because it's got an endless fingerboard. See, since it doesn't have magnetic pickups, the fingerboard doesn't need to end. It goes all the way to the bridge. And the Ghost because all of the controls and pickups and everything is hidden away. So the pickups are just piezo's in the bridge. And the tone controls are on the back here, recessed thumb screws. And they're cool because they don't, they don't move from just rubbing against my tummy, but they're really easy to just touch with your fingers and make adjustments as needed. Kind of have to set it and forget it because you don't want to be doing that while you're playing, but that's fine because I usually just get the sound I want once and just play it, right? So here we're gonna turn on a signal chain consisting of the HX Stomp by Line 6, which this thing is a complete collection of pedals and amp simulations. It's a complete solution for guitar or bass guitar. It's a lovely pedal, one of my favorite things that I own. And I have quite a few different options for the signal chain for bass. And this is probably my most comprehensive, complete, powerful one is. And then I'm turning on the Strymon Night Sky, which is a very fancy, expensive reverb. Right. So now the thing is, I want to go wireless because this bass, as beautiful as it is, it does have a little bit of 60 cycle hum. And that means if I use wireless, there is no physical coupling of the bass with ground, which means no noise. So we'll turn on the wireless transmitter here. We're just going to hang it. Oh, the battery's dead on it. Okay, I need to get a new battery. New batteries for my wireless transmitter here. I have another one that is USB powered and it recharges automatically. But that one is in my living room right now. It's what I used to practice with. So I'm going to very quickly reach over here to where I have some batteries. Give me a second. Here we go. That was quick, right? I have batteries handy for just such an occasion, just such a predicament. I'll put them in here. Anybody talking to me on the chat? Let me see. Hey, somebody with Asian letters that I don't recognize, I'm sorry. Says welcome to level 1. Hi. So hi level, I'm going to just call you level 1 because I can't read your name. Hi level 1. Welcome to the stream. The Invisible Man says, I see you got a JHS pedal, clone of a preamp, right? That's right. That is called a color box. That's one of my favorite signal chain for the electric bass is to use a bass compressor, the MXR bass compressor, into the color box. And that thing is a clone of an old school Neve preamp. And it sounds amazing. It's very subtle. Some people might think it's snake oil. I'm using great background music. Oh, so you're using my music for backgrounds in your videos. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patronage and for hanging out with us today. Mr. Level 1. That's right, the Invisible Man. I'm often using the JHS. I like that for like if I'm doing a funk or a reggae tune. A lot of times those productions, the bass was recorded straight into the mixer, but it wasn't just any old mixer. It wasn't a modern interface. It was an old school, maybe not an Eve, but something like that, you know? So I like to use that pedal when I record instruments straight into the line. Now this, I have a guitar preset here, Sultans of Swing. We don't want that. We want the bass, one of my bass presets. So let me I'm just moving presets on my HX Stomp here to find one of the ones I made for this bass. There's already some bass presets here, but I like to make my own. This thing is a lot of fun because you can actually, you know, go through a menu of basically all of the pedals you could possibly want, and create your own virtual pedal board, and then assign. You can assign some of the switches to turn things on and off. You know, you can save variations of settings, things like that. There's even a looper. I have a little extra pedal on the floor here that I can use as a looper. And there's a tuner even built in here. Let me see if I can get this a little closer so you can see the screen. I'm just going to tune the bass for a second. Yeah, it's been a while since I played this one, so it's gone out of tune a little bit. And it's like a strobe tuner, so it's super precise. It takes a little while to really nail it. But this is a fretless bass, so my intonation needs all the help it can get. It's been a little while. I've been playing mostly fretted basses. I go through phases. I've been playing mostly fretted basses for the last couple months. I got a Yamaha BB that I'm really loving, BB 734A, and it's a 4-string fretted bass. It's very Fender-like, you know, very classic. Feels like just a P bass, and but a really nice P bass for not so much as a actual nice P bass would cost. It's really nice basses, the Yamaha basses. So I've been playing that one, and I've been playing my Ibanez headless 5-string a lot too. Short scale headless. I got that because this beast is so big that I started to feel like I needed a bass that was like good for fly dates, good for when I needed to travel. Because I took this one to Brazil, and man, I was super nervous every time. This bass has a Jaco-like sound, a little bit. You're asking if Jaco didn't use a fretless. Yes, he did. In fact, mostly a fretless. He's famous for the fretless. He almost invented the fretless. He took the frets out of his Fender bass with a knife when it wasn't really normal to do so. So Jaco is very famous for playing the fretless. That's why you're recognizing the Jaco sound here. Even though this is a very different bass than Jaco would have used. He would have used a jazz bass with magnetic pickups. This is a custom dealie with nylon tape wound strings. Right, nylon tape wound strings and piezo pickups on the bridge. So it's quite different from a Jaco style bass. However, I am very influenced by Jaco, so you might recognize some Jaco-ness in my style of playing. I'd be very flattered if you did. Let's find a fretless tone that's not so. Let's see what the settings are like over here. We have bass all the way up. Where's that treble? Oh, that's treble. No wonder it was sounding very bright. Now this is the mid. Mid's all the way up too. Let's bring that down a little bit. Going through some of my bass presets here. The main volume, oh wow, it was pretty soft. I kind of marked it because it's a very loud preamp, so I put a little mark on where it sounds like more like normal bass as far as volume goes. About the fretless is how expressive you could be with, for example, vibrato. You can do this rolling vibrato like you would on a cello or a violin, you know. And glissandi too. And also the way the strings vibrate directly on wood, since there's no metal, they kind of do this mwah thing, right? Because they're vibrating against the wood. And as they vibrate less and less, as this note starts to decay, it hits that wood less and becomes darker sound. So that's why you get that ow. See? This sounds okay. This one's in stereo. It's got a little bit of chorus, I think. This one has an octave. Quite a few presets. Some presets I made for specific basses, like the Rascal, the Squire Rascal I have is a very dark bass. So the preset for the Rascal, mix that up a little bit. This is called Simple, which kind of just lets the nature of the bass just go, sound as natural as possible with just minimal compression, EQ, maybe a preamp. But this is a little dark for what we need right now. So I think I'm gonna go back to this. I really liked this Kaifi Mini. I have a Mini fretless. Yeah, it's got a Middle East or Asian feel. That's also part of how I play, because I like to do that, articulate a little bit like a sitar or. Now the thing with this preset is it's got a reverb already, and we don't want that because we're gonna use the Night Sky reverb, right? So again, this is the signal chain. So I'm enjoying this Kaifi Mini. I think I can bring up the highs and mids a little bit on the EQ here in the back. And now we'll turn on the Night Sky. pitch that I like. I'll listen to that. Now this alone, I could probably do a whole ambient song with just this. Something is distorting though. I'm gonna turn down the output of the HX stomp a little bit. Right, so that's inputs 6, 5, and 6. Here's a cool trick you can do with the fretless bass that you can't do on a fretted bass. You know, harmonics, right? Play just, if I don't push in all the way, I can get these harmonics. Now if I play harmonic and then push in, and then I can slide the harmonic. Check it out. Cool, right? Now, I'm thinking if I should maybe use a direct box and get a line out as well, just in case I feel like I'm using too much reverb or something and I want to add in the dry sound. And that's easy enough to do because I can connect the SansAmp. Let's see, this is the SansAmp right here. This is a bass direct box that has amp simulation in it. But I can just use it as a direct box. And that's going, I can send that to input number 3, for example, on my ADAT interface here. And then what I can do is connect the output of my wireless into the input here, and then a parallel output from the direct box to the signal chain there, the pedal chain. Nice. I love harmonics on bass guitar. Remember, it was one of the first things I learned to do on a guitar. Yeah, it's when you're starting to just get a sound out of the instrument, play around, right? So we're gonna disengage the pedal because I just want it to act as a direct box right now. And in fact, I'm gonna turn down the reverb anyway a little bit. Yeah, that's sounding really nice. And it's a smart decision as a sound engineer and producer. The fact that I'm also going to be recording the direct out from the bass. Where should I put this? Where you can see me. You see me okay, right? The bass okay, like this. There you go. It's such a beautiful instrument. It's made out of really nice woods. It's ebony macassar, I think, top, a mahogany body, sides, ziricote fingerboard, which is weird because it's got these portions of it that are a different color. They're lighter, and they feel different too. It's a different texture wood there, and the neck is wenge, I think. Pretty sure it's a wenge neck. Okay, so enough about my bass. By the way, I'm an endorsed MG bass guitars artist. I need to send them my bio so they can actually add me to their website. But theoretically, I am an official MG bass guitars artist. Okay, so stereo audio track, bass, and then we're gonna open mono one, call it bass DI. Bass DI. The bass DI one we're just gonna mute. We'll assign input 3 to that track. A.3. There we go. Oh, you know what? There's a parallel output from the direct box. I think it'll be smarter to use that and engage the pedal so that my line out is at least going through an amp sim. Sounds nice. Even if it's just flat. It just sounds nicer. So, okay, so bass DI, set to record. Right, and we're gonna do a little trial run here. We're just gonna record a little bit and then hear it and make sure it's not distorting or anything like that. Let's go to set options and turn off turn on low latency monitoring, so I'm not hearing double. And this one, the stereo track, is getting the effects, and that's inputs 6 and 7 from the ADAT interface. 5 and 6 rather. 5 and 6. 7 and 8 are the steam pipe. Right. We can see that now, right? And here's the G. Alrighty. So I'm gonna just hit record and play along a little bit, and then we'll listen back and then do the real take. Wants to do a software update tonight. We'll do it later. Okay, let's just hear these bass channels soloed and make sure that they're not clipping or anything like that. So this is the bass with effects, and I'm not playing it so well in tune at the moment. I probably need to warm up on the fretless. I haven't played fretless in a while. But, you know, no better way to warm up than just playing. That sounds pretty cool. A little too wet, but that's the whole point of having this track right here. I think I can turn that input up a little bit. So that's just going through the basic amp simulator, the Sans amp. And then I can add compression and everything else to that later if I want to. Like if I feel like I can't, like the pedals aren't working, but I will feel more inspired to play in the genre having the pedals on. So it's just going to be nice to have both. Okay. So let's do this take for real now. Okay. Now, one thing I noticed is that I felt like I couldn't hear the bass that well. So I'm going to turn down the steam pipes. Steam pipe takes here. I'm going to turn them down a bit so that I can focus on what the bass is doing. I need to hear them enough to be able to play in tune, right? Maybe the reverb is too long. That's a little better. Okay, so let's just do this. Recording. Oh, hold on a minute, folks. I'm getting a call here. I'm going to turn off my... I'm waiting for an important call from Brazil, which is why I'm going to answer this. Oh, no. That looked like it was a scam call from the States. Oh, jeez. Got interrupted for nothing here. Atlantic City? No, yeah, that's one of those scam calls. We have a job for you. Add us on WhatsApp so we can tell you. That's bullshit. Okay. Hopefully I won't get interrupted again. I'm going to keep my phone like visible so I can kind of see if I'm getting a call. Who's it from? And if it is from Brazil, I'm going to pick it up. Looks like I might be doing a job for Netflix in Brazil soon. That's what I'm waiting on. And oh, that's distorting. See that? Let's turn down the output of the... So where is it distorting? Let's see. It seems to be distorting at the input. So I'm going to turn down the bass. Yep. And I can turn up the pedal. That was sounding pretty good. We definitely don't want it. We want that nasty distortion on this track. We might want some like soft saturation, but definitely not. That wasn't it. Okay, let's try again. Anybody watching? Feel free to say hi again. Comment anything. I'm looking at the chat. All right, let's go. So let's do some happy little trees here. Okay, I think that was a really nice first take with some really nice things, but I think I played a little too busy. Which, if I can, if I think about it, I was probably trying to get used to the intonation. Just it takes a little warming up. So that was a warm up take, right? Now that I've done this warm up take, even though there are nice things about it, since there are new good things about it, I'm going to save it by opening a new playlist rather than recording over it. That way I can easily go back. Now, I did feel like once I started playing, I wanted a little bit more of that reverb. I'm going to turn just the reverb up on my pedal a little bit, and maybe also that length. Make it a little longer. Do I want maybe some shimmer? might be too much shimmer. That's nice. So that shimmer is adding like an octave note above. Maybe we want a little low cut there. Because it's building up, the reverb is building up too much low. We want the shimmer to be softer, more subtle. Here, that's sounding nicer. Right, this is all on the Strymon pedal. It's funny how the real take is always much more minimal. At least the pros tend to go that route. That's true, yeah. You know, I have two hats on right now. I have the bass player hat, and the bass player wants to play a lot of notes. But I also have the composer producer hat on, and the producer wants fewer notes. He wants to have space for other things, you know, he wants the bass to shine, but not outshine. So let's do the real take now. Hopefully. Let's go. gonna go ahead and cut that take short for a couple of reasons. One of them is I feel like I still need to hear the bass a little more because I feel like I'm playing loud and buzzing too much. If I play with a softer touch, it might sound nicer. And the second reason is that I'm still a little busy. Less so. Some of these things sound nice, but I still need the producer in me still needs to tame the bass player in me a little bit more. So let's do that. Now that was much better. I think that's the take. And in fact, in the end, I resolve. I go to the G and I stay there for a while, and it kind of grounds it, even though there are other things happening that are more dissonant. Now, I'm a little worried. I felt like I distorted. I don't know if it's only on my headphones. Um, but even if I did, I like the take enough that if the affected channel is distorted, I'll probably just keep the night sky in the state that it's in, and route the line out channel of the bass, route that through it, or use some other kind of reverb or something. But I like the performance. I think I did it okay. Oh, Invisible Man's giving me three trophies. Very nice. Some very good moments in that one. Like some bars needed more silence. Yeah. In fact, if I still feel like the bass is too busy, at this point I can just, mix or edit to taste. So I can just bring the bass volume down or even cut out certain portions if I feel like it's a little too busy. But the bass is kind of the melody instrument here, right? We have a drone, and the bass is taking the role of the voice, kind of the singer. And it's sounding really nice. I think, well, it's 1:30 almost. Hold on, I feel like somebody's honking their horn at my door. Let me go have a quick look. Why don't we listen to that take in the meantime? And yeah, I need to see if it's got that distortion. There seems to be no one out at my door. I'm expecting some delivery from Amazon and stuff. So I'm also paying attention to that. That's the thing with live streaming at my home studio, is that I still have to be paying attention to live things. Oh, look. I got a message from Paula from Brazil. Let me. Yeah, she didn't call. She wrote a message about an hour ago, and I wish I had been more prompt to respond. We'll see if she needs to talk. If she does need to call me, we'll end the stream for today. But I think we'll end on a high note where we did pretty good. We found the bass drone from this steam pipe, and we did a really nice fretless. And so let's listen to this for now. She says she's gonna check with the producer if he wants to talk to me, or if she's gonna be the one talking to me initially about the project. Okay, so it looks like we got a nice clean DI signal. I doubt that this is the one distorted. So let's just listen to the main one. And if we hear distortion, we'll stop it and examine. I heard some distortion right here. So was that recorded? Are you guys hearing that distortion, or is it just my headphones? Let me turn it down. Ah, good news. It's only distorting in my headphones here. So I should probably turn down the monitoring a little bit and turn up my headphones. Because I think it's distorting going into my mixer. Okay. So let's listen to that take again from the beginning. The Invisible Man, thank you very much. Go practice Bach. That's the best thing you can do, always. And thank you for joining the stream. I'll see you again sometime soon. Probably should have used a little more compression on the bass and give it some more sustain before the reverb. But you know, I can do that on the raw track. Why don't I go ahead and treat this raw track a little bit and just add it in. So we're gonna start with a little bit of compression here. Or we can use the waves. Our compressor, Renaissance X. Renaissance X. There you go. There's some noise. There's some noise coming in. So we're gonna use the waves. NS1. I still hear some noise. Yeah, I think it's the bass. Let's just turn down the volume here. Oh, that sounded like it distorted. Now there's also some EQ that can be done here. We need to make it less heavy. There we go. And compress it some more. I'll bring down the gain and bring down the threshold so we get more sustain out of this. Still hearing some kind of
Some kind of hum from something. Yeah, it was still coming out of the Strymon pedal. Yeah, and from the Sans amp as well. Okay, so we've got more silent monitoring going on here. So who's here at the stream right now? Nobody else? Only the Invisible Man was here and he's gone. If you're here, please say hi. Okay, so now let's listen to both tracks together. EQ the affected bass a little bit too. It's a little muddy. It does sound nice to have that line bass signal going into. So let's listen to them in context. There's a little bit difference in phase here. It looks like there's a tiny bit of latency from the pedals. So yeah, because the DI is analog, so it would have to be from the pedals. So we're just gonna move the DI signal so it matches the polarity as well. What was that? That'll make them not cancel each other out, sound better. Hello, Breeze. Welcome to the stream, my friend. You say it seems you added quite a few instruments already to the steam pipe recordings, and the truth is, it's only been one. It's just a fretless bass. This beautiful thing right here. It's my 6-string fretless with nylon strings made of fine woods by hand. And I did a couple of takes, like 3 takes of it. It's going through the HX stomp pedal, processing a little bit of amp simulator, EQ, compression, and that's going into the Strymon Night Sky. This is the signal chain right here. And I also use the Sans amp in parallel to record a line. I recorded the line signal, direct signal from the bass as well, just, for safety. But that's all you hear. The ethnic you're hearing is the fretless bass up high, doing harmonics and things like that. It's basically taking the role of melodic instrument. And now the steam pipe. There are 2 tracks of steam pipe happening. Remember I recorded my raw musings, playings around with the steam pipe, and as well as a main take. So I edited the main take to be shorter. I took it from about half. So there's 5 minutes or so of, 5 minutes and 22 seconds of the mainstream pipe take. And then I added bits from the raw steam pipe take that seemed to work well, and added another layer, another dimension. And then I did 3 takes of bass. Like, I tried to find a sound. First 2 takes were a little busy, and the last take is what you're hearing. And yeah, I think this is sounding really nice already. It might not need anything else, honestly, but you're here a little late for my schedule today, Breeze. I know I usually start later than I did today and end later, but the girls are back at school, so in about 15 minutes I'm gonna have to stop and go get them. I'm also picking up my mom at the airport. She's coming to spend a week or 2 to celebrate my 50th birthday today. Not today, on May 13th is my 50th birthday. She's coming today. Hope I made that clear. All right, so that's just 3 tracks we're listening to. The bass track and 2 steam pipe tracks. Now, I was thinking, Ed Random just finished a nice stream of his own. That was nice. Cool. Oh, Breeze, I missed it. I think we were streaming simultaneously, I guess. I'll try to catch yours and then do mine next time. You watched parts of my stream yesterday. Sounded great. Cut parts out. It ended up sounding very good. Yeah, I did. The part that I cut out was the beginning. When I listened to the end, the last 5 minutes, I realized I didn't really need to cut too much out. I did cut a little bit out the end here. There was something that I did that just kind of jumped out too much. And then I cut a little piece from the raw stream. I cut steam pipe. I cut a little piece here again that was not quite matching. But other than that, it's almost verbatim the beginning of me playing around with the steam pipe. That take I recorded while I was just playing around with it. All right. And then I did the bass. And now I'm thinking what could be the 3rd instrument in the 4th layer. And So when are you starting the streams from now on? I tried doing my stream before your stream, but I guess with the earlier schedule they overlapped. Yeah, uh, recently I've been starting at 1 o'clock my time, Mexico City. It's now 1:44, so I would have been probably about 40 minutes into my stream right now, but I started earlier. I'm trying to start at noon, so 1 hour earlier. So noon Mexico City time, and do about until 2. So about 2 hours, maybe a little less, from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. Mexico time, and then at 2 I leave. I pick up the girls a little before 3 at their school. So yeah, it would be nice if we could time our streams so they don't overlap, and I can watch yours and you can watch mine, right? That'd be really cool. Um, but I'm going to continue for 15 more minutes, and that gives us time for another layer or two. And I'm thinking maybe my cello, or maybe the new melodica with some effects, or maybe some trombone with reverb. I don't know, or maybe something from the modular. I have the Piston Honda and the Hertz Donut over there. They could be some really cool extra drone voices. So I don't know. What do you guys suggest, Breeze and at random? What do you guys? What would you guys like to hear me play? I can play electric piano. I can play Hammond organ. I can play the hydrosynth. Find like a nice patch from the hydrosynth. So I'm gonna wait for a suggestion from you guys based on the options I gave you. Um, play more. Yeah, play more what? More bass? I will think. Okay. This is my electric piano. I like the cello or trombone idea. Okay, well, let's pull up the cello then. I don't have a lot of chops on the trombone, so I feel like I would get tired and dizzy too quickly on that one. I'll go get the cello. Right. So here it is. My cello. It's cursed. I've had it for over 10 years, and I took it to the luthier recently because it had a hole in it. Because a cleaning lady put it on the guitar stand and just went. So the guitar stand made a hole right in the bottom of it. And it also had a few issues. One of the issues was that I could never put a fourth string on it, the thinner string. I think is that the C string? I don't even know what this thing is tuned to. I know it's in fifths, and I always have to double check on the internet like how to tune it, because I'm totally intuitive cellist. I just play it by ear. I don't know how to play pieces or anything like that. And even when I took it to the luthier and he put this fresh strings on and made sure there were no sharp edges cutting anything. I think he made a new bridge for it even, and it still broke the high string anyway. And now it's totally like I think with the temperature changes, the strings just went totally loose. It's a cheapish Chinese cello, but it sounds really nice recorded. I've done a lot of film scoring with this thing. So what is it supposed to be tuned to? Let's see. Oh, it looks like my GoPro just overheated again. So I'm gonna let it cool for a minute. Genial le t-shirt. Ah, Van Gogh. Wake me up before you Gogh, because that's how you would actually say it, right? Gringos would say go, Van Gogh. It's a kind of a cheesy dad joke t-shirt, but I like it. Thank you, Lumimia. Thank you for joining us again. Lumimia is a wonderful photographer. I was checking out her work yesterday on Instagram, and I'm an amateur photography enthusiast myself. I have a whole bunch of old analog cameras. I did a lot of work with film for a while. So I can appreciate your work, Lumimia. So let's have a look on how to tune a cello. I'm kind of embarrassed. Cello tuning. Perfect fifths, C, G, D, and A in descending order of thickness. So the high one is a C and the bottom one is an A, right? All right. So for me the high one would be a G. This one, because I don't have the high note. I never could. This cello is cursed. It will not let me have a third string. Van Gogh was 90% right. At random, what do you mean by that? I'm sure you're making a joke that I'm just missing. Okay, I just need to make sure that this peg is screwed in pretty tight. Right. Dutch G. 90% right. Dutch G. I still don't get the 90% right. Oh, you mean the way I said it. Van Gogh was 90% right. Okay, what am I missing? Ed Random. Which part did I not say correctly? Van Gogh. It will be difficult for you to tell me in text, I'm sure. So C, G, D. Feels like I feel like it's too low. Let me hear. I think that thing lied to me, or maybe I'm. Oh, the low note is the C. Is it? Hold on. Yeah, CGDA. Yep, indeed, it was feeling too floppy. G. La. Maybe this is why my strings break, because I can't even tune the thing. And I'm running out of time. And the D. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna break it. Getting there. Where's my tuner now? I can probably use it. I've got in the ballpark. Oh, so sorry, folks. Hi, Metulpa Gandovila. I'm wasting all yours time tuning poorly a cello, but it'll be worth it. I'm gonna have to leave a little later than, but I can still make it. I can still make it even if I'm 10 minutes or so a little later. Here's that D. Here's that G. Oh, okay. Ran out of space in the micro tuner here. Gonna have to bring it up. There it is. There's that G. And there's a C. Good enough, because at the end of the day, this is a fretless instrument that I'm going to have to tune by ear anyway as I fret the notes. So let's get the bow out. Stretch it. Make sure it's got rosin. Enough rosin. Seems like it does, but it won't hurt to rosin it up a tiny bit more. I'm going to lay the cello down carefully. And I have my trusty microphone here, which is the blueberry microphone, and that's what we're going to use. Just get that GoPro going again now that I changed the battery on it. And you need to be quick, folks. This is going to have to be a one-take cello performance. And there's the GoPro, so y'all can see me playing this thing that I'm not really capacitated to play, but I'll do my best. I think I need to move the microphone so I'm not encumbered by the keys. Move my chair as well. Now the microphone is going into input 4, right? So we need to set up a channel on Pro Tools. I'm doing this as quick as I can, folks. And that's A.input input 4. A.in in 4. Record enable. Call it a cello. Turn on the phantom power, it's on. Move the bass case out of the way. Oh, that made a noise. It's kind of a heavy case. And let's face the GoPro up a little bit. Pick up the cello. Sound check, needs more volume. Not that much. And let's hit record and do this thing. It's exactly 2 o'clock. It's a 5-minute song. So that's how long I have to do this crazy cello take. And hopefully it'll sound nice. Let's do it. Sorry, I have some papers here getting in my way. Okay, the bow needs to be stretched a little bit more. The rosin is just warming up. Need to put a little more in. This is our warm-up take, folks. This is not going to be the definitive take. I'm just getting acquainted with the intonation of the instrument. Good thing it's a 5-minute song, not a 10-minute song, or I wouldn't have time to do the definitive take. Alright, rosin this thing up. And tighten it up a tiny bit more. And let's try this again. Okay, G notes to flat. C's a little flat too. There it goes. Get a little forehead grease here to lubricate the old fingers so I can slide. It's an old bass player trick. Get that grease from the forehead. It's gross, I know. All right, I think I can do the real take now. Okay, almost. I feel like I'm getting there, but I need to double check tuning here. Yeah, see, this is low. Someday I'll get a better cello. Still a little low, but you don't have to do because I don't have time to adjust the main peg. This is low too. And this is low too. They're all going low. Alright, this will have to do, and I'll just... The thing is, I like to use the open strings, so I do need the cello to actually be in tune. But it'll have to be good enough for now. Cello is such a wonderful instrument. I like the range and timbre very much. I agree with you. What instruments do you have? Says Metup. Oh my God, I can't stop and give you a list right now because I have a lot of instruments. I have flutes and cello and marimba and electric piano and many guitars, many basses, many synthesizers, lots of stuff. That ought to do it. That ought to do it. And when you add copious amounts of reverb, and possibly a little bit of pitch correction or editing, we'll see which. I don't know if I need pitch correction though, because it's kind of nice to be very human and flawed in this case, because the other instruments are also pretty fuzzy. So I'm not even going to waste time to make a send for now. I'm just going to drop a Valhalla right in there and just put the mix down. And maybe move it slightly to the right and the fretless bass to the left. And let's listen. Lumimia says we could almost have entered into a state of meditation. Well, I have to say I did. It's kind of how I'm able to play it. Methupa, I have a saxophone. I have a plastic saxophone from Amazon. That's the only one I have. I don't have anything so nice. A friend did lend me a tenor. I have a tenor saxophone here that I can't play. Never found the time to pick it up and figure it out properly. I do have a trombone and I have a flute. Trombone I can play a little better. The flute I'm okay if it's in an easy key. I can play a saxophone on the Linstrument though. See this thing right here? This is an MPA controller, and I have a very convincing software simulation of a saxophone. So maybe tomorrow we're gonna have a look at using some of audio modeling plugins and using the Linstrument and add some instrumental layers like that, saxophone, maybe a cello. But now it's 2:17 here in Mexico City, which means that unfortunately I do have to leave. Hi Tonal Axis, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to stop the stream right as you joined us, but please go and hit play from the beginning so you get an idea for what we did today. Lumimia, thank you. Methupa, thank you. Breeze, as always, thank you at random. You guys make it all worthwhile for me. Thank you very much. Hope you liked the stream today. It's getting very close to sounding finished in my opinion. I think the cello worked. I mostly played like little harmonics and see, like that. Kind of, that's an ethereal, meditative element to the song. So thanks again. I really need to go or I'm going to be late. Pick up my girl. So once again, thank you for joining the Human Music live stream. See you again tomorrow. Love you all. Stay human. Goodbye.